Georgia for giving up some time to help us with our presentation. So thank you both to Jason and Georgia. Our next presentation is for event number 3, the boys 11-year-old Longdale. In the third place, representing Ribbon League Primary School, Nathan Hughes. In second place, from Brighton Grammar School, Sebastian Navarella. And our state champion for 2019, with a best jump of 4 metres 85, representing Ferret Primary School, Isaiah Stanford.
Competitors are on track for event 20, which is heat 1 of the boys 12-13 100 metres. Heat 1 of the boys 12-13 100 metres are on track and their names are up on the field.
So our boys 100 metres, 12 to 13 boys are about to get underway. So we might run over some of the names a little bit later. But again, 2 sections, the boys off and running, a really even start. But it looks like lane 3, Kane Ray Wrench, has got the front at the moment. But it looks like we've got 3 breaking away to get those automatic spots for the final. And I believe that was Kane Ray Wrench of Our Lady Help of Christmas. Christian, sorry, already getting ready for Christmas here. Lane 4, Jacob Dimmitt of Granvale Primary School, and John T. Davis of Maiden Gully Primary School. So it looks like those 3 boys will be back in the final, and we'll see who can qualify out of this second heat. And now we've got our boys in the final 100-metre heat of the morning, our second heat of our boys 12-13 100 metres. Lane 1, Liam Island of Bass Valley. Lane 2, Logan McCoy of Echuca. Lane 3, Isaac Mella Martinez of Lorimer Primary School. Lane 4, Usman of Mount Pleasant Road Primary School. Lane 5, Oriel La Rosa of Lumen Christian Primary School, Point Cook. Lane 6, Ruben Gamon of St. Lawrence O'Toole and Gatha. Lane 7, Jaden Choi, St. Gregory of the Great, Doncaster. Lane 8, Jakaya Hona of Glen Huntley Primary School. And in Lane 9, Jack Tranio of Plenty Parklands Primary School. The boys all just waiting behind their starting blocks, waiting for their instructions, and then they'll be underway. And again, they'll be looking for those top 3 spots to automatically qualify for the final. And they're off and racing, and a pretty even start again. It looks like our athlete Jaden Choi from Doncaster, who's going to take the win just sneaky from the athlete in the lane right next to him, which is Ruben Gammon. So those 2 will both be back in the final. So these boys will be looking to go put their legs up, get some food and drink and things into them and recover up so they can do it all again.
So the bar is currently sitting at 161, and if any of these girls make it, they'll be breaking the record because the record was 160. So we've got a couple of girls left in the competition, 3 left in the competition, So it could be anyone's game right now. The conditions are pretty good. So you've got the young lady from Hazel Glen, the young girl from Templestowe, I think. I'll get their names in a second. So Addison, followed by Hayley, followed by Rosie, in that order. So this is Addison now. So just hit it with her shoulders on the first attempt at 161. So this is Hayley now. Very close. Great attempt. And now this is Rosie. The wind has really picked up down here, like really picked up, so don't know if that's going to put Rosie off. Definitely doesn't seem to have. Great attempt, just knocked it with her legs.
Right, second attempts, girls. Addison, Harley and Rosie.
So Rosie is a former Team Vic athlete, so she knows what it's like to compete at a high competition. Second attempt for all the girls now. So just knocked it with her shoulders. This is Hayley from Hazel Glen. Floated over the bar, but just came down on top of it. Fantastic pass. So that's a record for Rosie. She ought to be wrapped with that jump.
Right, third attempt, girls. Addison, followed by Hayley.
So here comes Addison on the screen. So that's Addison exits the competition now. Another great attempt by Hayley, but she exits the competition as well. So now we've got Rosie left in the competition. Who's the shorter of the three? She's the only one left. She'll get to choose what the bar goes at. She can go up by 3 centimetres at a time, increments. So as you can see, she's getting herself set up. And the officials are just checking the rules. And just on the other side of the mat, we're watching the boys compete. I'll grab the bar height at that. You can't see it, but I'll let you know.
So now we'll move on to our girls 9, 10, 80 metre hurdle heats. Again, 2 sections with our first 3 automatically going through. So section 1, lane 2, Laura Wong. Lane 3, Josie Greenaway. Lane 4, Alaria Nelson. Lane 5, Zara Silic. Lane 6, Olive Spitty. Lane 7, Pippa Morgan. Lane 8, Scarlett DiGiorio. And lane 9, Olivia Barr. So looks like the girls are ready and waiting down at the start line. As the officials are just making sure all the hurdles are in place and ready to go. It looks like they're just checking all the hurdles are at the correct height. Make sure it's even for all the girls. No one gets a surprise higher hurdle halfway through the race. That would not be kind. It looks like we are getting close to being ready to go.
Triple jump. Let's go triple.
So our girls are towing the line now, so they'll be off any second now. And they are off. And pretty even start. A few hurdles going down. But it looks like athlete from Caulfield, Laura Wong, is really flying away, and she's clearing all the hurdles. She hasn't hit one. Nice clean race, and she'll go straight through to that final, as well as our second and third placed athletes there in that heat. But a really great run there from Laura. Looked very tidy over those hurdles. Let's see. Officials just re-tidy up those hurdles after a few casualties down the straightaway there. And then our girls in section 2 are now lining up. And I think we're just... I don't know if we all just did some strides or there was a false start there. But we'll run through the names really quickly before they regroup. So lane 2, Michaela Rees. Lane 3, Lucy Nowako. Lane 4, Manon Muir. Lane 5, Grace James. Lane 6, Matilda Cubil. Lane 7, Poppy Miles. Lane 8, Josh Kerr. Sorry. Lane 9, Georgia Madil. So this is heat 2 of our 9-10-year-old girls, 80-metre hurdles. They look like they're not far off being ready to go. And it appears our athlete in lane 2 isn't starting here, unfortunately. So we'll have one less athlete in this race. And the girls are off. And a really good start by, looks like, Grace James in lane 5, as well as Lucy in lane 3, holding down second place. It looks like Grace James in lane 5 of St. Dominic's in Camberwell will take the win in that heat. And another girl we'll see back this afternoon for a final.
We are down at the girls' 9-10 triple jump. They're just getting themselves set up. The officials are just giving them their jumping order. So we've got a whole bunch of girls that are going to be in this competition. By the looks, about 17 girls altogether. But the conditions down here are very warm, Lockie. I know people said it was going to be 34, but I think it's about 134, and the wind is blowing. So you can see the flags, or maybe you can see the flags. Sorry, you go, Lyndon. Introduce that race.
Got a bit too excited about our boys' 9-10 80-metre hurdle heats. So section 1, we have Vincent Harrison, Sevdim Bunveski, Saul McArdle, Nicholas Ide, Jet Johnson, James Matten, Alexander Karakos, and Mitchell Matkos. And it looks like we've had a false start here. A couple of athletes not quite sure what's happening. Just had that extra warm-up again like we had earlier.
It's great to see all the parents lining the front straight as well. So a lot of parents are taking advantage of the warmer weather and getting out and about on what's going to be a 33-degree day here in Melbourne, so quite warm. But the parents are definitely enjoying having a bit of a day off work.
Yeah, definitely. Not a bad one to be out here in the sun. It'd be a bit miserable if it had been tomorrow, for instance. So I've done quite well here, I think. But looks like we are now ready to go again, and hopefully we all get away. Oh, we have just a few hurdles. Oh, we've got a few hurdles have gone down in the wind. But a really even race here, and there's about 5 boys who could probably get those automatic spots. And a really tight finish. But both those 2 boys, regardless who gets the win, will get to go through to the final this afternoon.
So as you can see on screen, we've got the girls 9-10 triple. This is the first of the jumps. So that will be a no jump going through. Actually, sorry, that official is just giving them some practice jumps, so they're just getting... Now we're getting set for what's happening on the track, Lockie and Lyndon.
And now we have our second section of our boys 9-10 80-metre hurdles. And they look pretty ready to go. We'll quickly try and run through the names before they start. So lane 2, Nathaniel G. Lane 3, Ryan Ezard. Lane 4, Matthew Ockwell. Lane 5, Will McKean. Lane 6, Rowan Ratcliffe. Lane 7, Ronan Yao Yi. Lane 8, Fraser Brown. And lane 9, Joshua Dunn. The boys look like they're just about ready to start. We've just stood them up and we'll restart the process here. And we are off a little cleaner this time. And it looks like our athlete from Macedon Primary School, Ronan, who's got a good start, but now he's been overtaken by our athlete in lane 5, I believe, Will McKean. And he'll take the win with Ronan from Macedon in second place. And those 2, along with our third place athlete, will go through to the final.
And Raf, have we started normal competition down there yet? At the long jump?
No, nothing yet. In fact, this is the first time I'm ever saying this in my 5 years at SSV, that this event is running 20 minutes behind time. So we're waiting. It's the hold-up is currently the call room. Unfortunately, we are down a number of staff today to run this event. So unfortunately, what that means is that the call room's behind and this event is running about 20 minutes behind, but it should be starting very soon.
And now we're on to our 11-year-old girls. 80-metre hurdles here. It's again 2 sections. Section 1, Layla Nicholson. Lane 3, Lucy Cleveland. Lane 4, Faith Little, who I believe we already saw in 100 metres earlier. Lane 5, Jaya Campbell. Lane 6, Tasma Ferry. Lane 7, Tallulah Dunn. Lane 8, Amelie Shortall. And lane 9, Isabella Vescovi. And the girls are off and racing really quickly. And it looks like Faith Little has got a good little lead. We already saw her go in the 100 metres, but she's been challenged from an athlete on the outside, which is Tallulah Dunn. And those 2 will both go through to that final this afternoon. So Faith Little of Bentley West looking to be a busy girl today, already out on the track twice. Hopefully she's got a bit of a break before her next event.
So yeah, the competition is, we're still waiting on the rest of the girls to turn up. We are just about to start competition, keeping the girls under the tent. It's currently out here, it's 31 degrees, but being out in the direct sun with no clouds, it does feel like a lot hotter than that. So we're going back to the track. What's happening on the track, Lyndon?
We've got our girls 11-year-old 80-metre hurdles section 2. So starting in this race, we have Maeve Gill. In lane 3, Jessica Slattery. Lane 4, Bridie Neal. Lane 5, Misha Atkinson. Lane 6, Tilly Hume. Lane 7, Maya Allen. Lane 8, Tanner Boyle. And lane 9, Layla Baxter. The girls getting ready to get going. And again, they'll be looking for those first 3 spots across the line to guarantee their spot in the final this afternoon. And then outside of those first 3 in each heat, we'll also have the next 2 fastest athletes from either heat getting to go again in that final this afternoon. And the wind does seem to have picked up a little bit again, as is traditional at Lakeside Stadium. Those flags are really flying around now, and you can see the girls' T-shirts down the start line blowing around, along with some of our papers we've got up here. So some challenging conditions. And the girls are off and racing. And a really good start from our athlete on the inside, Maeve Gill, looking really smooth over the hurdles, being challenged loosely by Bridie Neal, and Neal will go on, she'll take the win. Maeve Gill in second place, and both those girls will automatically qualify us through to the final. So we'll be getting to see them again later this afternoon.
So the competition is underway here, thankfully. We've got the girls that are lining up. The girl on the runway right now is actually Eden. So a nice jump there. She gets the white flag. Yep, she gets the white flag. So we've only had 2 jumps so far, 8:06 and 7:55. So 8:23, that is the leading jump currently. So we're going to go back.
And now we move on to the boys' 11-year-old 80-metre hurdle heats. Again, 2 sections. Section 1, Jake Ring. Lane 3, Lucas Tonner. Lane 4, Odin Ponte. Lane 5, Chas Woodward. Lane 6, Ethan Worthy. Lane 7, Will Evans. Lane 8, Archie O'Rourke. And lane 9, Jay Higgins. And the boys are already off and racing. And it looks like Odin Ponte had a really good start in lane 4. Just been overtaken by Chas Woodward and Jake Ring on the inside. And so those 2 athletes will take those first 2 spots. And it looks like one of our athletes in lane 7 or 8 might have snuck that last 3rd qualifying spot there.
And RAF competition is underway down there.
It certainly is. 8:23 is leading it. The current girl on the runway right now is Georgia Lewis.